A large fleet of warships moves through space. Inside one of the ships, a girl reports that a wormhole is opening. The captain is shocked as a bright light appears. Panicking, he calls it the Black Mecha and the Plunderer. He fears a whole fleet is coming, but realizes there is only one mecha. He orders all ships to fire, but their attacks miss. The Black Mecha moves forward and destroys the main ship's control room with a single strike. More alien ships arrive to stop it, but it dodges their attacks and fights back, easily overpowering them. As reinforcements come, the Black Mecha destroys the main ship, causing a massive explosion that wipes out the surrounding enemies. Watching the destruction, the Black Mecha's pilot, Liam Sarah Banfield, laughs and says, "You're all so weak, but this is amusing." A hologram of Amagi appears, confirming that the wormhole opened at the perfect spot. Liam praises her and tells her to proceed with the next phase. Meanwhile, Liam's massive fleet, led by Amagi, moves into position. Next, we see Liam's mecha team, led by Christiana Leda Rosabrea. Amagi tells her to prepare for another wormhole opening. Christiana replies that she is ready. When the wormhole opens, she advances and joins Liam's battle. She easily defeats enemy mechas, but soon finds herself surrounded. Liam comes to help, destroying the mechas around her. Amagi commands the fleet to fire, and their attack wipes out the entire enemy fleet. Liam laughs, saying, "Did you see that? I'm an evil lord. I can't do anything, and these ships are fantastic." A hologram of Nias Carlin appears, reminding Liam that these ships were made in the 7th Weapons Factory. Liam, still in battle, tells her to leave, but she insists, offering to build more. To get rid of her, Liam orders 200 more ships, making Nias happy. More wormholes open, and enemy mechas emerge. Liam is excited as he easily destroys them. The mechas fire together, wiping out the remaining ships. Suddenly, a large wormhole opens above Liam and a powerful cannon appears. Liam remembers his past life. He was once Kamazaki, an overworked man who struggled to support his family. His friend Nidida sent him a video of a mecha while he was commuting home. His job was tough, but he endured it for his wife Mika and daughter Konami. Mika greeted him warmly, telling him that Konami wanted a boat. Kamazaki promised to think about it during his vacation. Seeing his daughter asleep with her dog-shaped doll made him happy, so he later bought her a real dog, remembering his own childhood pet. Mika joked that he would have to work even harder now, but he was content seeing his family happy. The next day, at work, his boss yelled at him for missing a call. A coworker told him that the company president was always out golfing on Fridays. Despite a bad day, he went home and found joy in his family. Mika reheated food for him and told him Konami had joined a sports club. Later, Kamazaki went out to meet a client but received another message from Nidida about a new mecha model. He smiled but didn't reply, feeling exhausted. Kamazaki gets off the train and looks for his client's meeting place. However, he sees Mika sitting outside a cafe with another man. He wonders, Mika should have taken Konami to the gym. Who is this man? Hiding, he decides not to confront her. When he returns home, Mika and Konami are sitting on the sofa. Mika goes to get food while Kamazaki asks about Konami's day at the gym. Mika tells him that Konami won her match. Kamazaki plays with his daughter, expressing his love for her. He thinks about asking Mika about the man, but chooses to stay silent. Later, while working on his computer, he notices it won't go into sleep mode. A coworker tells him to turn it off manually. Kamazaki meets his client again and feels relieved when he doesn't see Mika at the cafe this time. But then, he hears her voice on the phone, talking to the same man. Hiding again, he watches in shock as Konami runs up to the man, takes his hand, and calls him daddy. Kamazaki is devastated. He tries to convince himself that Konami was just playing a game. Suddenly, his boss interrupts, scolding him for wasting time. His boss also complains about how long his computer takes to start up. Kamazaki tries to focus on work, but soon Mika calls him, saying Konami had an accident. Rushing to the hospital, Kamazaki learns that Konami is in surgery. The doctor says she needs blood and asks about their blood types. Kamazaki replies that he is AB, while Mika is O, but then the doctor asks Mika to donate because Konami's blood type doesn't match Kamazaki's. Kamazaki realizes that Konami can't be his biological daughter. At home, Kamazaki confronts Mika about the man she was meeting. Mika refuses to answer. When Kamazaki demands the truth, Mika claims he was always too busy and didn't give them time. Kamazaki defends himself, saying he worked hard for their family, but Mika argues that his salary was low and nothing he did made her happy. Konami sits nearby, flipping through a magazine. Mika then announces she wants a divorce. Kamazuki is in shock. As Mika prepares to leave with Konami, Kamazuki tries to stop them, insisting he won't let his daughter go. But when he asks Konami if she wants to stay with him, she hesitates and says she prefers the other daddy. Kamazuki is completely shattered. Back at work, Kamazuki is called in by his boss, who asks why he transferred 50 million yen to a random account. Kamazuki denies it, but his boss tells him the transaction came from his computer. Kamazuki remembers that his computer didn't enter sleep mode, meaning it was left open. Just as he tries to explain, he realizes that his boss set him up. The whole office already knows about it. Fired from his job, Kamazuki is now burdened with debt. Mika divorces him and takes Konami with her. He must now pay alimony and repay the 50 million yen or face a lawsuit. Struggling, Kamazuki takes on multiple part-time jobs. He receives another message from Nidada about a new mecha release, but he is too depressed to reply. The next day, while working, Kamazuki coughs and sees blood. He is exhausted and desperate, thinking about how much he has to work to repay his debts. Returning home, he suddenly finds himself surrounded by a bright light. At that moment, he notices something on his computer. His boss was the one who transferred the money. Then, he sees Mika sipping an expensive drink. She is with the same man, Kamazuki's boss. Watching them happily together, Kamazuki is left completely stunned. Kamazuki breaks down in tears, yelling, "Did you ruin my life for this?" As he realizes his fate, a man suddenly appears, introducing himself as a guide who claims he is here to help. However, he also reveals that he feeds on negative emotions, and Kamazuki's suffering is exactly what he desires. The guide, pleased with Kamazuki's despair, says, "Your pain is delicious, but don't worry, I'll give you something special." Kamazuki doesn't understand what is happening. The guide pulls out a bag filled with posters representing different worlds where he could be reincarnated. Kamazuki asks which world he can go to, one with magic, samurai, the Wild West, or even the age of dinosaurs. As he looks at the options, his eyes land on a world focused on mechatronics and spaceships. Excited, he chooses that world. The guide describes it as a place ruled by nobles and kings across the galaxy. Kamazuki, remembering how he always loved mechatronics and discussed it with Nidada, eagerly signs the contract. His vision fades as the guide disappears, and a bright light bursts from his home, shooting into the sky. The story returns to the present, where a battle is still raging. Liam Sarah Banfield, piloting the Black Mecha, fights fiercely, eventually winning the battle with a final devastating attack. Overjoyed, he declares that no one can surpass him in this world. His fleet arrives through a wormhole, and Liam boards his main ship. Meanwhile, in another realm, Kamazuki is reborn, determined to rule this world with an iron fist. Liam, now a noble in this new world, lies on the roof of a house, reflecting on his past. He remembers that his family rules a planet called Hydra. When he returns home, he is greeted with a birthday celebration. His mother tells him that today is his birthday and presents him with a special gift. She uses magic and leads him to a large present, which turns out to be a remote control. She explains that by using it, Liam can choose and customize a servant to his liking. Astonished, he carefully selects his preferences and places his order. At that moment, his father arrives and gives him an even bigger surprise, the title of Count Banfield. Shocked that he is being made a count at just 5 years old, Liam hesitates. However, his father reassures him that it is nothing to worry about, as he only needs to send them money every month. His mother agrees, saying that this way he can live independently. Seeing the benefits, Liam signs the contract, making his father very happy. His parents then leave for the capital, and Liam is left to rule his domain. Inside, he feels thrilled, realizing he now has full control. He silently thanks the guide for this opportunity. Meanwhile, in his original world, Kamazuki's lifeless body remains, his soul completely gone. The guide rejoices, saying, "He'll never realize he fell into my trap, and I'll keep feeding on his negative emotions forever." He then prepares to finish the remaining work. Elsewhere, Mika is seen talking to Kamazuki's former boss. The boss pretends to feel bad about Kamazuki, but Mika shows no concern, only caring about her new life. She asks what they should do next. The boss, confident, says they can marry soon. Suddenly, authorities appear and arrest him, revealing that they had discovered his scheme to frame Kamazuki. Panicked, the boss insists there is a misunderstanding, but he is taken away. Mika tries to stop them, but it's useless. The guide appears, saying, "This is the kindness you chose. Now, the one who truly loved you is gone." Mika collapses in shock. Back in the new world, the guide watches over Kamazuki, knowing that the long lifespan of people in this world means he will suffer for a very long time, providing an endless supply of negative emotions. Meanwhile, the spirit of a dog appears, looking at Kamazuki before walking away. In another part of this world, a battle erupts between two groups of space pirates. They prepare to plunder everything, using their powerful mechas. The pirate leader confidently believes victory is theirs until a terrifying new mecha appears, single-handedly destroying an entire squad. The battle continues, and we learn that the white mecha is led by Christina, who was once a knight before meeting Liam. Meanwhile, back in Liam's home, he discovers a doll inside a box. Upon seeing it, he feels immense joy, realizing it matches the servant he had requested. Confused about how to open the package, he asks the servant for guidance. The servant explains that the box is designed for security, and that Liam simply needs to place his hand over it. When he does, the box vanishes and the servant emerges. The servant opens her eyes and introduces herself as Amani, greeting Liam politely. Liam feels slightly tense while Amani attempts to provide him with more information, but he gets distracted, inspecting what the doll is made of. He then takes Amani with him, ignoring the servant who tries to stop him. Later that night, Amani gives Liam a massage, which makes him feel relaxed. However, the servant warns him not to rely entirely on artificial intelligence. Liam, puzzled by this statement, asks Amani if she can hurt him, to which she replies that she cannot, as he is her master. Hearing this, Liam feels reassured and enjoys the massage again. Suddenly, the servant explains that the Empire does not favor artificial intelligence. Liam, confused, asks why. The servant tells him that in the past, AI-controlled machines became too powerful, nearly wiping out humanity. A rebellion eventually overthrew them, leading to the establishment of the Empire. Liam then questions why his mother would give him an AI-based servant despite this. The servant hesitates but eventually reveals that the Banfield family is drowning in debt. Liam is shocked to learn that his grandfather and father wasted a vast fortune, leaving him in financial ruin. Frustrated, he asks if his parents intentionally placed him in this dire situation. The servant explains that they had little choice, as most of their wealth was already claimed by creditors. Meanwhile, Amani silently observes the conversation. Looking out the window, Liam sees that the planet offers nothing of value. Elsewhere, inside a bar, a group of locals discusses their new lord, surprised that he is only 5 years old. An old man frowns, commenting that new lords always bring higher taxes. The woman at the bar warns them to be careful, as someone might overhear. Realizing that this planet is a lost cause, and that he has once again been deceived, this time by his own parents, Liam recalls how he was betrayed in his past life. However, when he looks at the calm and quiet Amani, he sees someone who, like him, is unwanted by the world. He tells her, "The Empire doesn't like artificial intelligence, just like no one cared about me. I want us to stay together as partners." The servant tries to dissuade him, but Liam ignores him. Determined to escape debt and rise to power, he tells Amani that she will assist him. He then issues 3 commands for her to always follow, ensuring his safety and his path to leadership. Amani, without hesitation, agrees. Liam acknowledges that while he wants to rule, he currently lacks the necessary skills. Amani suggests that he can acquire knowledge through a time capsule. The servant protests, insisting that allowing an AI to influence governance is dangerous, but Liam refuses to listen. He argues that, according to the laws of the Empire, some forms of AI assistance are allowed. Since he doesn't know how to govern, Amani will help him. As Liam prepares to enter the time capsule, the servant remains concerned, fearing that the wise ones will intervene once they discover Liam's reliance on AI. However, Liam remains resolute. Amani explains that after 6 months in the capsule, he will gain the knowledge equivalent to 10 years. Curious, Liam asks if Amani has emotions. Amani responds that while her intelligence allows her to understand emotions, she does not believe she has true feelings. However, when Liam asked her to stay with him, her processor briefly overloaded. Liam, noticing this, feels slightly embarrassed before finally entering the capsule to begin his training. Before he disappears inside, Amani reassures him that she will be waiting for him. Meanwhile, the guide appears once again, explaining, "I am the guide, and my job is to collect negative emotions. Negative emotions can take many forms. For example, if someone goes to a restaurant and their chopsticks suddenly break, the frustration they feel is a negative emotion. And that too is my food. Liam finally exits the learning capsule and takes a deep breath as he steps out. The first thing he does is turn to Amiji. Finally, how long was I in there? He asks. Amiji replies, nearly 2 years. Liam is surprised, felt like no time had passed at all, but it doesn't matter now. Amiji begins to update him on everything that has changed in his absence. She shows him how the country has improved, which pleases him greatly. He praises her efforts, and Amiji quietly appreciates his recognition. After taking it all in, Liam decides to personally inspect his territory. Amiji first takes him to the spaceport, where satellites are launched. As they observe the lights moving in space, Amiji sighs. I wish I could have shown this to Nia, she says, though she quickly dismisses the thought. Liam watches the spacecraft in action, his excitement growing. I wish I could pilot that, he says. Amiji turns to him. Do you really want to? Yes, Liam replies eagerly. I've always dreamed of it. Amiji nods. I can arrange that. She leads him to one of the mobile spaces, explaining that it operates based on basic instructions. However, for more advanced maneuvers, he must rely on his mind and magic to control it. Liam climbs in and begins experimenting. But before he gets too ahead of himself, Amiji stops him. Learn to walk before you start running, she warns. Liam frowns. Are there weapons on this? Amiji firmly denies his request, saying it's too dangerous. But Liam insists, I need to fight at least once to test it properly. After considering his persistence, Amiji arranges a training match against Captain Machida, an experienced combatant. When Liam meets Machida, he confidently says, get ready. Machida simply nods, whenever you are. As soon as the battle starts, Liam lunges forward, but Machida effortlessly dodges and quickly disarms him. Dude, I lost, Machida says with a smirk. Liam's expression darkens. Are you playing with me just because I'm a kid? Don't hold back. Machida obliges. The moment they engage again, Liam finds himself slammed onto the ground before he even has time to react. He groans in frustration, realizing that real combat is much harder than video games. Determined to improve, Liam demands that his servant find him a proper combat master. The servant resists, insisting that fighting isn't meant for him. But Liam remains stubborn. I need strength to control people and instill fear, he declares. Amiji steps in and calls for a master named Yashushi. When Yashushi arrives, he eyes Liam carefully. Are you the one I should teach? He asks. Liam straightens his posture. Yes, I am Liam from the 7 domains. I want to learn from the best. Yashushi chuckles. The word best has no fixed meaning. In the end, winners and losers are decided in the moment. Instead of trying to be the best, just focus on being good. Amiji watches Yashushi and comments. This boy doesn't seem right. It's like he's waiting for something. Liam responds, a truly strong person is one who can endure emptiness. Curious about Yashushi's abilities, Liam asks, can you show us some of your skills? Yashushi leads them into a dense jungle. I will only demonstrate this once. Watch carefully, he says. Then, in an instant, he shatters several bamboo pieces without seemingly moving. Liam is impressed. He turns to Amiji. Did you see how he did it? Amiji shakes her head. It didn't look like he moved at all. Liam, however, is convinced it was just too fast for them to perceive. He steps forward and says, Sir, let me become your student. Yashushi smirks. Of course, I will take you as my student. That night, Yashushi returns to the same training ground, chuckling to himself. What a foolish child. He actually fell for it. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the galaxy, Princess Christina is engaged in a tense negotiation. Her assistant informs her that they are near the pirate fleet. Connect with them, she orders. The communication link opens, revealing Captain Go. Madam, my name is Go, he greets her. Christina introduces herself as the second princess of the Liba Kingdom. Go eyes her warily. Why have you come here? Are you afraid? Fear is not in my vocabulary, Christina replies coolly. But if something happens to me, I will be injured within seconds. She reveals the vast number of warships and mobile spaces backing her up. Go, however, laughs. You're mistaken. All of those ships and mobile spaces, they belong to me. At that moment, his forces begin surrounding Christina's fleet. So don't expect your people to leave here alive, Go adds. I've invested too much in this operation to back down now. Back in Liam's training camp, he throws himself into his exercises with Yashushi. One day, he suddenly asks, Sir, can I train with you one-on-one? Yashushi looks surprised but allows it. Liam approaches him, his eyes intense. Sir, I just want to know how to master the technique you demonstrated earlier, the flash. Yashashi's expression hardens. No, I agreed to teach you under one condition. I will only show my secret technique once. If you cannot learn it from that, you are not worthy to be my student. Liam clenches his fists, frustrated but understanding that Yashashi will not waver. His desire for power burns even stronger. Liam feels anxious and apologizes to Yasushi, promising not to repeat his mistake. Yashashi accepts, but after Liam leaves, he mutters about how foolish the boy is. Liam returns, feeling his apology is not enough, and insists on giving Yashashi a great gift as a sign of respect. Yashashi hesitates but eventually agrees. Liam then asks if he can return the next day for something important, and Yashashi, feeling exhausted, allows it. Meanwhile, Princess Christina is shown in captivity. Go. Her captor mocks her, calling the prince weak. Christina asks what he plans to do with her, and Go reveals his intention to use her as a bargaining tool. He declares that he will not stop until he wipes out an entire continent, launching an attack with his fleet. Back with Liam, he has been training all night, but still struggles to master his skills. Amini appears, updating him on the country's progress. She apologizes, explaining that the investment they made is not yielding much profit and that they are facing financial difficulties. Liam analyzes the situation and demands to see the person responsible for managing the funds. The next morning, the official arrives, boasting about his work. However, Liam suspects corruption and questions him. The man dismisses Liam as just a child, assuming he lacks understanding. Liam, offended, insists he is not a child and demands answers. He asks why they do not switch suppliers if costs are too high, but the official claims the current supplier is reliable. As Liam continues questioning, Amini intervenes, revealing that the official's assistant disappeared after taking the money. This reminds Liam of his brother's murder, and he directly asks the official if he killed his assistant. The official becomes agitated and avoids answering. Liam, sensing guilt, draws his sword. The official tries to justify his actions, saying the wealthy maintain their power by stepping on others. Enraged, Liam beheads him, declaring that no one who steals from him or harms his people will live. Shaken by what he has done, Liam struggles to let go of his sword. Amini helps him and warns that if this incident is exposed, it could cause major problems. She suggests creating more artificial dolls like herself to handle matters efficiently. Liam agrees and orders her to produce 30 more units while ensuring the dead man's affairs are settled. Elsewhere, people discuss a new, intelligent figure handling finances, preventing corruption. One official doubts Liam's abilities, calling him just a 10-year-old. Another responds that age does not matter. The next night, before starting his training, Liam's master advises him that receiving a gift does not mean he owns it. He must prove himself worthy. Liam asks what he should do, and the captain tells him to use his great-grandfather's suit, but Liam realizes they know little about it. Yasushi muttered while searching for something valuable. There's nothing useful here, and this boy is quickly gaining strength and skills. He's hardworking. Once my training with him ends, I'll lose the chicken that lays golden eggs. I need to buy some time and give him impossible tasks to delay his progress. Leaning against a door, he accidentally opened it and discovered a massive moving knight. Surprised by its size, he remarked, "It's a piece of junk, but I can use this." Later, we encountered Avid, whom he described as a wandering being that collects negative emotions. The scene shifted to Planet Cafe, where an employee asked a man for his order. He replied, "I want a quidendi with some extras," wrapping the request. She confirmed it, brought him the order, and he said, "Of course, that's it, and it has some extras." But when he opened it, he was shocked. Then Avid appeared and said, "This is a great negative emotion. It's delicious." Next, we saw Liam training with Brian. Brian asked, "Is the moving knight of any use?" Liam answered, "It's from teacher Yasashi's instructions. I'll be using it for training." Brian told him, "That was your great-grandfather, Mr. Alistair's favorite unit. I'm happy to see you appreciate it, but wouldn't a more modern unit be better suited for training?" Liam responded, "To be a real pilot, you need to master an old unit that's hard to control." Brian questioned, "So there's no benefit from this training? Isn't it a waste of time?" Liam replied, "It's not a waste, it's an art of mastering the secret technique." He recalled when Yasushi cut a tree, and how he had failed to replicate it afterward. Meanwhile, Amiji approached Avid and asked, "Is Yasushi a skilled trainer?" After searching, she said, "It doesn't matter, the order came from Liam, so I must carry it out." She approached Avid again and said, "I'm going to revive you, and I want you to protect Liam's life." At the 7th Weapons Factory, Nias introduced herself to Liam, saying she was assigned to service the moving knight. Liam told her he was glad to meet her. Nias wondered, could this woman be a robotic human powered by artificial intelligence. Liam replied, "Is there a problem? I know the Empire hates AI, but that doesn't stop it." Nias then approached Doggy and asked, "Is this the Tyrell Nexus F6 Roach's Souls Q5? Impressed, she remarked, "That's amazing. It has full specifications." She said it was the first time she'd seen a robotic human powered by AI and began inspecting her, which made Liam furious. Later, they returned to Avid, and Liam said to Nias, "Please make this unit capable of fighting again." Nias replied, "I think this thing is done for. Buying a new model would be better and cheaper." Liam retorted, "Don't try to sell me your stagnant goods," and insisted on having Avid fully serviced so he could pilot it. Nias warned him that modern battles are fought with 14 to 18 meters models, and no one uses older 24 meters units anymore. She added that there were no spare parts and repairs would be costly. Liam responded, "I don't care. Replace the old parts with new ones of better specs. Keep the manual controls and remove all assistance functions. I want it perfect, no matter the cost." Nias agreed, saying, "Then let me take on this task." Liam concluded, "I'm counting on you, and be sure to add a finishing blow." Questioning her, "All robots have a finishing blow, right? Like a rocket punch?" Nias asked, "What's that?" Liam explained, "You're an expert and you don't know. It's a punch that flies using rockets." After that, Yasushi arrived and said, "Let's see how Avid will be repaired." When he saw Nias, he was impressed and tried to talk to her. However, every time he spoke, she ignored him and continued her conversation with Liam, which irritated Yasushi. Seeing Liam getting close to Nias, Yasushi joked, "I haven't gone easy on him." Later, during training, Yasushi began throwing balls at Liam, who had a cover over his eyes. Yasushi told him, "You won't become a true warrior until you can endure this much." Liam replied, "But I can't see. This sword is too heavy. I can't keep my balance." Yasushi told him, "Don't rely on your eyes. See with your mind, your spirit. Drive with your heart and break through your physical limits." He threw more balls, saying, "Don't think, just feel." When Liam tried, he was hit in the face, and Yasushi happily continued the barrage. Next, in space, a ship piloted by a man named Goaz appeared. He was capturing a group of Fiat, including Princess Christina. He told her to come with him. Christina asked, "Where are you planning to take me?" Goaz answered, "To my island, Treasure Island." Getting closer, he told her she was beautiful, and the more beautiful she became, the more excited he felt. When Christina asked what he planned to do, Goaz, holding the bound princess, said he would add her to his collection. He took her to his lab and asked a doctor about his beast. The doctor apologized, saying it had just died moments ago. Goaz responded, "Then get rid of it," and asked what they should start with. The doctor suggested amputating a leg. Terrified, Christina was magnetically pulled toward them. Goaz then told the doctor to remove one of her eyes and implant it into her hand so she could watch herself become hideous like his other pet. As she stared in horror, they laughed cruelly. Afterward, the scene moved to a bar where an employee's friend and an old man entered. The employee asked for the man's order. He replied, "The usual," and the old man asked how the new job was going. The man said it was a big problem because things were going too smoothly and he was swamped. The employee said it was good he had a job, but the man questioned, "Can things really improve this much just because the boss changed?" The old man said it was even better in his grandfather's time. The employee replied, "I hope we return to those days." The man agreed. Back at Avid headquarters, Liam praised Nias for her work. Brian said he saw Mr. Stair's unit working again, which brought back memories of their glorious days. Nias explained the controls to Liam as he entered Avid, remarking how spacious it was. She told him the space had been magically expanded, and the seat was made of luxurious materials. She initiated the engine and revealed the unit had scanned Liam's piloting data, becoming his personal unit. No one else could operate it now. Liam said he loved the sound and tried to take off, but the unit flipped. He asked what happened. Nias explained it lacked automatic balance and assist functions, making it difficult to control. But once mastered, it would perform like any other unit. Liam accepted the challenge and started moving it, which made Brian cry, reminded of Stir, Liam's grandfather. Nias praised Liam, saying he was doing well for a first run. Liam said he had trained hard in the simulator for this day. Nias emphasized that imagination was key to controlling the unit and prompted him to imagine while pressing a button. Later, Liam resumed training with Amagi and tried cutting a tree again, but failed. Frustrated, he said there was no use. He couldn't grasp the secret art of the blinking style. Amagi handed him a towel. Liam asked, "What should I do? I can't even see a path forward." maybe I don't have any talent. Amaji replied, I'm artificial intelligence, so I can't measure things like talent. But I don't believe you lack anything, sir. The problem lies in Yasushi's teachings. Liam asked if she meant Yasushi was the problem. Amaji confirmed, saying the issue was Liam's over-reliance on him. He didn't trust Master Yasushi enough, which caused him to misinterpret the teachings. She replied that wasn't what she meant. He then said that there is magic in this world, and if something physically impossible occurs, it means magic is at work, right? The sword is just a tool to assist in imagination, much like piloting a moving knight. In reality, it's not the sword that cuts the opponent. It's the intention behind waving the sword to cut magically. He practiced several times until he succeeded in cutting the tree. Afterward, Liam joined Yasushi and told him he was ready. He then used his sword and successfully cut the tree, greatly surprising Yasushi. He asked Liam, "Did you see that?" Liam replied, "Of course." Liam asked again if he had succeeded now. The master muttered to himself, thinking about forgetting success because if he could cut what couldn't be cut, he would be the winner. Yasushi told Liam, "You did well in keeping up with my teaching, but you still have a long way to go to reach its true essence." He advised him to keep refining his skills without becoming arrogant. Liam replied, "Of course." As they moved, Yasushi wondered what was going on with this boy. He couldn't believe it and found it frustrating that Liam had cut the tree without using his sword. Next, we moved to Liam's home, where he received information about pirates targeting a part of King Banfield's facility on the resource planet Mikai. Amaji mentioned that the tough environment and mining operations had been left alone, but she had built a facility on it to generate profit. Liam learned that the pirates had taken down flying knights, and the army was resisting, but it was unclear how long they could hold out. Liam asked Amaji about their strategy. She explained that he needed to approach the planet's blind spot near the mining facility, use the horizon as a shield during the attack, and descend with air brakes during the rotation due to gravity to surprise the pirates from above. Liam said, "That's good," and ordered all ships to prepare for battle. He instructed them to take over the pirate ships, stating he would go with them to defend the facility. Brian told Liam not to go fight the pirates alone. Liam told him to be quiet, saying he wouldn't forgive anyone who touched his property, and that it was time to show Master Yasashi's skills. The ships prepared, and Liam merged with the Avid. Amaji told Liam they were ready to launch. He replied, "Good, launch me." Afterward, Liam took off in the Avid and attacked one of the pirates from behind, eliminating him. The remaining pirates struck at Liam, but he vanished without harm. He reappeared and destroyed another pirate. The pirates scattered, but Liam continued to take them down. Two pirates approached from behind, but he used his sword to defeat them. Then shots were fired at Liam, but he drew his gun, aimed, and caused one pirate to explode. He then launched several strikes, causing more explosions. When the pirates gathered in front of Liam, he used the blinking style and secret art to destroy a group of pirates, causing the rest to flee. However, Liam didn't stop, saying he would take them down with his finishing move. He aimed for a rocket punch, but the punch didn't come from his hands and instead shot out, surprising him. He said, "This isn't the finishing move I want." Nias told him it was the rocket punch he requested. Liam replied that it was a rocket shaped like a punch, but it wouldn't be a punch if it didn't come from the Avid's hands. Nias responded, "But it's much stronger than Avid's hand." Then, Amaji arrived and informed Liam that she hadn't succeeded in capturing any of the pirates. Liam asked what happened to the rest. Amaji told him that 30% were destroyed and 60% escaped. Liam responded, "That's good work. Well done, Amaji." She replied, "I'm honored by your praise." Gawaz asked the doctor, did they return empty-handed with no survivors? The doctor replied that the fleet had underestimated the enemy and retreated before their losses grew. Gawaz called them fools, saying they should have died rather than flee. He declared they needed to move and eliminate the fleet that escaped. The doctor asked if Gawaz's men would attack. Gawaz replied that pirates are only emboldened when people belittle them, so an example had to be made. After that, they would target Liam's ship. Amaji informed Liam that docking had been completed. Liam said the results were satisfactory. Amaji congratulated him on his first battle. Liam said they had successfully protected their resources and secured spoils. Amaji explained that according to imperial law, whoever captures a pirate ship has the right to claim it and its cargo. Liam confirmed, so the pirate cargo is ours." She agreed, and Liam said it was like treasure. Amagi added that the ships carried orichalcum, scarletite, and other rare materials. Liam asked if those were used for making weapons. He also mentioned he wanted a gold crown with diamonds. Amagi explained that diamonds are just carbon crystals, and gold is only known for its low melting point, so neither is highly valuable here. Liam was surprised, asking, "Is that how it works in this world?" Brian chimed in, saying the captured materials were far more valuable than gold or diamonds. Still, Liam insisted he loved gold and asked if there was any. Brian confirmed, saying gold was an important industrial resource in electronics. Liam was pleased and told them to convert everything into gold coins, which shocked Brian. Liam added that for him, gold coins meant wealth, and he wanted his room full of them. Brian asked about the remaining materials. Liam told him to make weapons from them. Brian noted there wasn't a good weapons blacksmith in Banfield territory. Liam admitted they had nothing in the region. Amagi brought up a concern. She said during the deployment, they discovered a major issue. Banfield had about 10 Zero-class warships, but fewer than 30% were operational. Only 2 ships could respond quickly. Liam was surprised they still won the pirate battle with such a limited fleet. Amagi explained that the pirates had underestimated them, assuming they were just poor nobles, and that Liam's performance was what turned the tide. Liam credited Amagi's strategy and noted the real problem was that 70% of the fleet wasn't functional. Amagi suggested disposing of the outdated warships. Brian disagreed, warning that reducing the fleet size would make them appear weak to pirates. Amagi countered that maintaining unused ships was costly. Liam agreed, saying he didn't want to spend money on things he couldn't use. He suggested converting the materials into coral people or fish farms or anything more useful. Brian raised concerns about the county's defense. Amagi suggested they buy new warships. She explained that by selling the resources obtained from the pirates, they could afford a good number of ships. While the latest models were out of reach, with careful selection, they could acquire sufficient used models. Brian was skeptical. He insisted that their fleet symbolized the family's pride and reputation. Using second-hand ships might damage that image. Liam replied that he didn't care. Brian warned him that such arrogance was what led his father into massive debt. Still, he asked Amagi to proceed and find some used ships. We then moved to a warship exhibition, where Nias presented a new combat ship from the 7th Armaments Factory of the Grand Fleet. She detailed its specifications, sturdy with heavy armor, and explained that it was immune to current threats. Next, Elijah from the 3rd Armaments Factory presented a ship designed by the renowned Colin, a global designer who had won 7 awards that season. She highlighted the ship's high-quality interior, luxurious seats, and control panels made from 300-year-old ogre wood. It was elegant, comfortable, and allowed commanders to maintain dignity, even during fierce battles. The winning ship was announced. It belonged to the 3rd factory, Elysia's. Nias protested, "Why was your ship chosen when ours is just as good?" Elysia explained that their ship had immense capabilities and weapons crafted by specialists, making its strength undeniable. However, because of this, it wasn't for sale. She added that the 3rd factory perfected not only function, but also aesthetics, which angered Nias. Nias retorted that their focus was purely on capability, without wasting effort on unnecessary luxury. Elysia replied that the difference was minimal and emphasized that weapon effectiveness ultimately depended on the user. A comfortable crew would stay focused, reducing fatigue and improving performance, leading to better results. As Nias and Elysia walked together, Elysia claimed yet another victory for the 3rd factory. Nias disagreed, saying Elysia may have won the battle, but she wouldn't win the war. She believed their ship's raw power would prevail. Elysia challenged her if they ever fought, they'd see whose ship was stronger, but joked that she wouldn't sell one anyway. Nias told her to be quiet. She wanted to say something, but ended up speaking to her through instant communication. Afterward, Nias returned to her room, worried that the director would be upset again. She wondered if there was any eccentric noble who might buy their ship. One name came to mind: Liam, a noble who removed all automated controls from his night mech to pilot it manually. She thought he was strange, but perhaps the one. Meanwhile, we shift to a mysterious guide who feeds on negative emotions. He wandered in search of them and soon focused on Liam. Liam was playing video games enthusiastically, just about to beat some monsters when a cat pressed a button on the controller, ruining his progress. He became furious. The guide enjoyed this moment, calling it a delightful negative emotion. He mused on how humans were naturally entertaining, and how small, pure emotions had their own unique flavor. But he longed for a feast of despair. He believed Liam's negative feelings had begun to grow, expecting him to be drowning in massive debt. But then, the guide was stunned. What is this? He wondered. A town that had once been on the verge of ruin was now more prosperous than ever. Something had clearly changed. He recalled that when the executioner sought a teacher, he assumed a worthless scoundrel had come to teach him. That assumption was now in question. We then transitioned to a tavern. A regular customer walked in and ordered as usual. An old man asked his friend if he'd heard the news. Liam had defeated some pirates. The customer confirmed, saying those pirates were loaded with treasure. The waitress cheerfully added, "That's great. I hope that luck comes my way too." Yasushi remarked that he didn't understand what Liam was thinking. The waitress asked if he was talking about his student again. Yasushi explained that he was just a coach from a night class and had been training him casually. But Liam had quickly surpassed him, even before becoming a first-class warrior. The waitress pointed out that this meant Liam was doing well. Yasushi disagreed, saying it was no joke. He believed something was off about the boy. It was insane to take a trick seriously and carry it out in reality. Someone nearby asked who they were talking about. We moved back to Liam, now training alone. He successfully smashed trees without even drawing his sword. Amagi praised him, saying, "Well done, Liam." Liam asked if he had reached Master Yasushi's level. Amagi replied that she couldn't measure it just by watching him sheathe his sword. He seemed almost inseparable from it. Liam believed that his master had lowered his level to help him understand. He felt he should be greater and added, like cutting from 100 meters away, "I want to cut 100 of them at once because I can't settle for this level." We returned to the tavern, where the guide questioned, "What's going on here? Did I send him to the worst teacher?" Yet, it doesn't seem to have affected him. Later, we returned to Liam, who continued his training, telling himself that his parents had abandoned him in this world. He feared he'd be burdened with debt, thinking his life would be miserable. However, things were improving, and his debts were slowly decreasing. He had become a skilled swordsman, and it was all thanks to the guide who had reincarnated him in this world. Meanwhile, the guide was in agony. He said that positive emotions were his weakness, and gratitude made him suffer terribly. He needed to renew his negative emotions quickly. He sniffed Yasushi's hair, saying that the strange aromas mingled with those emotions helped save him. But how did Liam find happiness? He wondered if he had reincarnated in the wrong place, but dismissed the idea. This was just the preliminary work before his fall. The higher the fall, the deeper his essence would go. We moved to Liam and Amagi, who told him, "It's time to update our warships." Liam asked, "Have you found any evidence?" She replied, "It seems the Imperial fleet will upgrade their armament and will buy many new ships, abandoning their old ones." Liam said, "If they're from the Imperial fleet, they must be modern models." Amagi added, "There's one condition. They want us to keep the soldiers they're holding as reserves or near retirement, along with the warships." Liam responded, "So they want to send us personnel they don't need. But some of them are part of the Imperial Army. Many graduated from officer school and have combat experience. I think this would benefit us and our fleet." Liam agreed. "All right, that's good. It's a barter deal." Then the guide appeared, saying, "I think now's the right time. I'll make sure they send their most serious soldiers to him. It will be fun to watch these soldiers rebel against the evil lord's actions." We shifted to Yasushi, who said, "I overindulged in drinking. I shouldn't drink this much again." Nias came in and asked, "Are you inside?" Yasushi responded, "That's unusual," and invited her in. Nias commented, "You've spent a lot of time teaching Liam sword techniques, haven't you?" He replied, "You can't call it a lot of time." She continued, "So, you've become an excellent fighter and transformed into a good warrior in such a short time. I bet you teach Liam well." He replied, "Of course, I won't be any less capable than anyone else." Nias then asked, "I want to know something from you." He assured her, "Don't hesitate. Ask me anything." She hesitated. "I'm afraid he'll think it's a lack of taste." He reassured her again. He's not the type to care about that. Nias said, "If he answers me, I should reward him with tickets to a match or plane tickets. Either one will do." She added, "I don't have either of those, but I still want to win his affection." Yasushi responded, "I'm not sure if I should reveal others' tastes." Nias begged him, "Please, I really want to know." He said, "You should choose a short skirt and a white collared shirt, and I think that will work." Nias thanked him for the advice. We shifted to Liam, and then Nias entered. asking, "I want you to buy something for me." Liam asked, "What's wrong? Did you eat something bad?" She replied, "Not at all." Liam asked, "What do you want me to buy?" She replied, "I want you to buy the latest warships we've produced. Don't decide until you've seen them." Liam said, "I've already bought a set of used warships along with some soldiers." She exclaimed, "Used? Do you mean the ships the Imperial fleet got rid of?" Liam asked, "What's wrong with that?" Nias thought to herself, "I can't believe the third factory is blocking me here too." Liam said, "If that's the case, then just go back." Nias urged, "Please, look at them before you decide." She presented them to him and asked, "What do you think of their brave appearance? It guarantees their capabilities." Liam replied, "Then sell them to the Imperial fleet." Nias cried, saying he didn't buy any of their products during the presentation. Liam asked, "So you came to me to get rid of your stock?" She replied, 100 units would be enough, and we can offer loans with renewable credit. Liam told her, "Stop mentioning debts." After agreeing to buy from her, he asked Amagi, "Do we have enough money?" Amagi said, "We'll need to cut expenses elsewhere, but it's possible. It won't be a waste in the long term." Nias thanked him, "Thank you, Count," and promised to bring it immediately. Liam said, "She's very beautiful and has real talent when it comes to design." Amagi responded, "Many other aspects are disappointing, aren't they?" Liam replied, "It's really disappointing beauty." Afterward, Nias contacted her manager and said, "I sold 300 units." The manager asked, "Did you find the oddball you were looking for?" She replied, "The deal was successful thanks to my charm." She added, "Liam was very interested in me. He was staring at me madly." Brian, overhearing the conversation, commented, "Liam fell into a honey trap," while Yasushi heard it too and thought, "Lieutenant Shoddy handled things well with Liam while wearing clothes that suit my tastes. I will never forgive that scoundrel." Finally, we shift to Liam, who is resting with Amagi. He said to her, "It's quiet now, isn't it?" The scene opens with Liam's battleships being delivered, both from the Imperial Army and the 7th Weapons Factory. Amagi informs him that the Imperial fleet has quantum teleported their invoice, and she asks him to acknowledge it with a quantum signature. Liam wonders if a quantum thumbprint would work, and, jokingly, thumbs her chest. She remains unfazed. Meanwhile, Yasushi is seen drinking, wallowing in jealousy and frustration. He can't believe Liam has once again won over the lieutenant, likely Amagi. Convinced that Liam must have bribed her with a massive contract to do questionable things, Yasushi imagines all sorts of scenarios and vows never to forgive him. Watching all this, the guide is thrilled. He feeds off these dark emotions and eagerly awaits Liam's downfall. Back with Liam, he inspects the newly delivered ships from the 7th Weapons Factory. Though they lack luxury, Liam appreciates having the latest models. Nias comments that luxury is just for show, but Liam argues that most people desire it. She then provides lengthy usage instructions for the ship, making Liam wonder if he's buying a family car instead of a battleship. After the explanation, Nias asks him to sign the receipt. He's less enthusiastic than last time, and she offers a bonus to cheer him up. She also makes a request to hand over a few captured pirate ships for research. Liam declines, as he plans to integrate them into his fleet. Amagi proposes a compromise. In exchange for a few ships, the rest can be converted to match his current fleet, which lacks standardization. Nias explains the pirate ships contain technology from beyond the Empire, and the research value far outweighs the refitting cost. Intrigued, Liam agrees to inspect the pirate ships himself. Inside one of the pirate ships, Liam notes the drastically different design. Nias is excited by the unfamiliar tech. Liam spots a traditional helm and requests something similar be installed in his battleship. Nias warns it would make navigation harder, but Liam insists sometimes style matters more than practicality. As she studies the systems, Liam spots a dog and chases after it. He eventually stumbles upon a unique room that Amagi identifies as a navigation room. It holds the ship's route records, showing extensive raids across the Empire. After each raid, the ship warps to a gate at the Empire's border, then quickly jumps outside, not to foreign lands, but to a lawless front line where nations have long been at war. It's the perfect hiding place for pirates. Amagi analyzes the data further and determines the final destination is a rogue planet with a chaotic orbit influenced by several binary black holes. Its orbit is so unpredictable that it's virtually unreachable unless one knows it exists. Liam concludes this must be the pirates' secret base, a treasure island where they stash their loot. Amagi asks what they should do, and Liam declares they're heading there. The scene cuts to the pirates who previously failed an attack on Mikey, reporting to their superior, squaws. Enraged, he kills the failed raiders and rallies his forces to destroy the Banfields. Their fleet sets out for the Pomania warp gate on the border. Meanwhile, Liam's fleet completes a short distance warp en route to the same gate. Amagi explains they need to pass through the Dois Gate to reach Pomania, but the gate refuses them entry. She explains that the issue is with the toll, and the person in charge of the gate contacts Liam. He informs Liam that he'll need to pay a toll based on the jump distance and mass. Warping 7,000 spaceships to the Pilmonia Gate will cost a large sum. Liam says they'll pay later, but the official doesn't trust the Banfield house and demands payment in advance. Liam admits they didn't bring that much money. The official suggests they can still pass if they can get a letter of credit from someone trustworthy. Liam asks Amagi if they know someone who could help, but she says no noble will act as a guarantor due to their reputation and massive debts. Liam tries to reassure the official that they'll pay in full upon return, but the man says there's no guarantee they'll even come back. Liam argues they've already spent so much just getting there and can't afford to return empty-handed. When he asks to speak to the manager, he's told that the current official is the highest-ranking one present, so Liam decides to speak with him in person and ends the call. Amagi doesn't believe speaking face-to-face will change anything, but Liam insists that sometimes people understand each other better that way. He asks her to manage things while he's gone, and she agrees. Meanwhile, at the Pilmonia Gate, a group of pirates has gathered. Ghost talks to the official operating the warp gate. When asked about his destination, Ghost says to set the gate to dockate. The operator tries to get more information, but Ghost refuses to elaborate and simply says the payment will be as usual. The operator links the warp gate, and Ghost's crew passes through without trouble. Back at the Dois Gate, Liam meets the manager in person and asks him to let their battleships through. The manager doesn't oppose the idea, but insists on upfront payment. Liam, frustrated, says they'll pay after they return, but the manager won't budge. Liam then pretends that his mother is critically ill and he needs to visit her immediately. The manager questions if he really needs his whole fleet for that. Liam claims he wants to show his mother how far he's come. The manager tells him to go home and get the toll money instead. Liam begs, but the manager insists on payment first. Defeated and angry, Liam prepares to leave. The manager is relieved and tells him to vacate the area. Liam then changes his tone, saying he was just joking. At that moment, the manager receives a message and walks away. Liam is surprised that the negotiation techniques he learned in his past life didn't work. Then he notices the same dog he saw earlier and decides to follow it. Elsewhere, the manager confirms the pirates' passage to the Dois Gate. One of his crew says the pirates should arrive in about 30 minutes. The manager realizes it's a pirate fleet, but pretends otherwise. His coworker points out that they'll likely clash with the Banfield fleet. The manager doesn't care. He says it'll just look like a random pirate attack on an impoverished noble. Since they were unaware and just happened to receive money in their accounts, they'll act like they saw and know nothing. They all leave the control room to maintain their alibi. Right after they leave, Liam walks into the control room, thinking the dog led him there. He's surprised it's empty and notices the warp gate is connected to the Pilmonia Gate. Believing the manager must have had a change of heart, Liam assumes the connection was made for him, but he soon realizes the gates are linked in the wrong direction. He tinkers with the controls and fixes the direction. The pirates, mid-transit, feel turbulence and blame it on poor gate maintenance. Amagi contacts Liam, informing him that they've secured a letter of credit. Liam wonders which noble helped, but Amagi reveals it wasn't a noble, it was the 7th Weapons Factory. Nias then contacts Liam, saying he can use their name since they purchased battleships from them. Liam thanks her but says they don't need it anymore, assuming the gate operator turned a blind eye to their situation. Liam orders his fleet to move out and they pass through the gate. After some time, they exit at the Pilmonia Gate, and Liam announces they'll initiate a short-range warp once all ships are in formation. Meanwhile, the pirates are getting impatient as they haven't reached the Dois Gate yet. Ghost and his crew are confused. They're already past their estimated arrival time. They see a gate ahead and prepare to exit, only to discover they've arrived at the wrong coordinates. They discover that they are currently in the training space for the Imperial fleet, facing a massive force of 70,000 Imperial ships. Meanwhile, back at Pomania Gate, Liam's fleet warps a short distance to the pirates' treasure island. Liam notices that the area is swarming with about 20,000 pirate ships, almost 3 times their own fleet. Emoji points out that most of the pirate ships are moored and inactive. Realizing the pirates didn't expect an attack, Liam orders a surprise assault. All of his ships prepare their cannons and open fire, destroying the pirate fleet in a massive barrage. Liam then pilots his Avid, wiping out numerous enemy units in one strike with his Rocket Punch and Avid Crush, destroying the command ship leading the pirates. Afterwards, Magi informs him that all pirate ships have gone silent. Liam commands her to send out mobile units to eliminate any stragglers while he prepares for a treasure hunt. The story then flashes back. When Christiana returns from her mission, she is warmly greeted by her family. She proudly tells them she drove away the space pirates, earning praise for protecting their kingdom's peace. Her brother jokes that if she fights this well, it makes him look like he's running scared while she fights for him. She replies that he can't be thrown into battle lightly since he is the crown prince. Her sister then approaches, expressing a desire to become a princess knight as well, and Christiana promises to teach her when she grows older. Suddenly, the scene shifts to Christiana witnessing her planet being destroyed by space pirates. As the pirates attack, her family wonders how they got so far and soon realize they've been betrayed by the United Federation. The energy shields collapse, the castle roof is blown off, and the king and his family see their ruined nation before they are killed. Christiana watches all this happen firsthand. Later, she is shown hanging in front of her crewmates at the pirate hideout. Her crew cry, fearing for their fate, but Christiana tries to reassure them that rescue will come soon. Ghost arrives, saying it's time to begin. Christiana pleads with him to kill her if he wants but to free her crew, knowing she's the only one he's after. Ghost says he doesn't want to kill her. Everyone is now his pets, and he can't have them dying easily. However, he offers to free one crewmate if she chooses. Though it feels cruel, Christiana picks the most frightened girl. But Ghost breaks his promise and makes the girl his first test subject. Christiana argues, reminding him he said he would free her, but Ghost coldly replies that pirates don't keep promises. The mad scientist begins his work, genetically altering the girl by sprouting 2 extra arms from her back. Christiana begs them to stop, but Ghost warns she'll die if they do, asking if that's what she wants. She can't even ask for it to stop. Later, Christiana is locked in a cell. Ghost visits her, telling her it's time to meet her reborn crewmate. Christiana is devastated by what she sees. Ghost says it's only the beginning. They will turn her into something even more incredible. She asks why he does such cruel things, and Ghost replies that it's all fun for him. Watching beauty become hideous is his entertainment. He informs her she will be the next test subject. The next day, she is strapped into an operating chair. The doctor begins the procedure as Christiana cries and begs for mercy. Ghost wonders what happened to her fighting spirit, reminding her she told him to hurry and kill her. The doctor asks Ghost how to proceed, and he instructs attaching her eyeballs to her hands so she can see what's being done, and for the crew to watch because they will be next. Back in the present, Christiana has become a grotesque monster. She begs the doctor to kill her, but he refuses, saying she is the captain's favorite pet and must continue to entertain him. He tells her to stay strong and despair. She cries through the eyes on her hands. Suddenly, the pirate base is attacked by Liam. The scientist is shocked, rushing to the control room to find a surprise assault underway, and all pirate ships destroyed. He can't believe this is happening while the captain is away. Liam uses Flash to eliminate enemy mobile knights. After wiping out many pirates, Liam suggests searching for the treasure while clearing survivors and ventures deeper. He notices a dog but soon sees nothing and moves forward. The scene cuts to the control room where the scientist and others have surrendered. Liam demands they hand over their treasure. The scientist questions what treasure he means, explaining there are stolen goods and the pets the captain treasures. Liam wonders if there's a dog there. The scientist, intrigued, says he can make the grotesque creatures like a dog if he wishes. Confused, Liam follows him, seeing the horrific pets kept by Ghost. Some soldiers are so disturbed they vomit. Liam's eyes fall on Christiana, and the scientist says she is the captain's favorite and finest creation. Seeing her misery reminds Liam of his old life, and in anger, he shoots the scientist dead. Christiana then speaks to Liam, asking who he is. Shocked, Liam listens as she assures him she's not an enemy, despite her grotesque appearance. Liam introduces himself, stating that he has taken control of the place and killed the man responsible for the horrors. Christiana is relieved and asks him to show mercy and save them. She explains that in their current state, they can never live as normal people again, and it would be better if they were dead than living like this. However, Liam decides to save them by restoring them back to humans, hoping they will repay the favor. He orders his soldiers to call the medic squads and evacuate everyone. Christiana begs him to kill them instead, but his commander says they cannot because it is the Count's order. The commander questions if they really intend to save them, as regenerating their bodies will be costly. Liam is happy that restoration is possible and doesn't mind the expense since they asked him to save them. The commander tries to clarify her meaning, but Liam understands well. He admits he is in a good mood and willing to help, even if it's something an evil lord shouldn't do. He can't abandon people who suffered worse than he did in his past life. Amagi then informs him that they have located the treasure, and Liam says he now has the medical funds. The scene shifts to the guide, who searches for stronger negative emotions. He spots a man mixing his natto, stirring 305 times to enhance flavor, adding soy sauce, but actually using Worcestershire sauce by mistake, and seasoning with coriander and wasabi. The man eats it but finds it taste terrible. The guide enjoys this negative emotion but wants something deeper. He decides it's time to challenge Liam while he is getting cocky, expecting this to be the most satisfying emotion. The scene changes to Naz visiting Liam, congratulating him on conquering the pirate base. She urges him to buy more spaceships to celebrate. Liam says she should give him a gift instead. Naz flirts, trying to charm him into buying more ships, claiming their ships performed well in the mission. At first, Liam refuses, suspecting a ploy, but after calculating his budget with Amagi, he orders 5,000 ships. Naz happily runs off, and Liam chases her, unwilling to buy so many. Meanwhile, Yasushi thinks about extorting money from Liam for drinking. He sees Naz boasting to her director about securing the order by humiliating herself. Liam finds Yasushi, who takes him outside for training. Yasushi blindfolds Liam and attacks him with drones firing balls at him, aiming to humble him. Liam struggles but recalls his magic. Instead of offense, he uses magic defensively to create a barrier, protecting himself from the attacks. He realizes his master wanted him to build a magic wall. Yasushi has never heard of such a technique. The balls bounce off Liam's barrier and destroy the drones. Removing the blindfold, Liam asks if he passed the test. Yasushi is shocked, but admits Liam has improved greatly. He warns Liam that if anyone finds out Yasushi is a fraud as a master, he'll be killed like corrupt officials. Yasushi then says he has nothing more to teach, but encourages Liam to keep training. Yasushi certifies Liam as a master of the way of the flesh and tells him to spread this path throughout the universe. Liam understands and feels grateful. As Yasushi leaves, Liam reflects that things are going well in his new life, thanks to the guide. The guide, feeling hurt by the gratitude, vows never to forgive Liam and to plunge him into despair. He says he'll never forgive him for that and will drown him in the ocean. Liam was furious and visibly displeased. His deputy asked why, and Liam explained that ever since he was born on this planet, he had dreamed of becoming a demon lord, to rule as a tyrant and enjoy watching people suffer. Though strange to his deputy, Liam's desires stemmed from the exploitation he faced in his previous life. Now, as a noble, he intended to repay that bitterness with cruelty. Amagi supported the idea of paying back debts, though she was referring to financial ones. She reminded him that if he didn't reduce the principal soon, the accumulating interest would spiral out of control. But Liam clarified that his debts were emotional. He wanted to take revenge for the humiliation of his past life. Amagi, however, felt that restoring their current territories was a more pressing concern than chasing ghosts of a past life. Later, the deputy informed Liam that confirming the full value of the pirate treasure would take time due to the number of assets involved. This annoyed Liam, but he pushed it aside. He was focused on living out his dream of being a villain. To him, that meant possessing three things: money, power, and women. He already had some power, having learned the flash style from Tuzin. He was now a professional teacher and a skilled swordsman. What remained was wealth and a harem. Then, Thagi informed him that a merchant from the Humphrey Trading Company named Thomas wanted to meet him. Liam allowed the visit. Thomas greeted Liam and congratulated him on defeating the pirates, offering a chest of gold as a gift. Delighted, Liam joked, "You're now a villain at Chegoya," though Thomas corrected him, saying they were the Humphrey Trading Company. Liam clarified he was joking. After securing the gold with his deputy, Liam asked what else brought Thomas here. Thomas explained that he wanted safe passage for a large shipment through pirate-infested space and asked for the support of 100 ships. Liam questioned if he always did business in such dangerous areas, and Thomas described the ongoing threat of pirate attacks on merchant routes. Turning to Amagi, Liam asked her thoughts. She was already prepared to dispatch 100 ships, seeing it as a great opportunity to train and build real-world experience for their fleet. Liam agreed, but requested gold next time as well. As Thomas left, he was stunned by the rapid development of Liam's city in just 1 year. Despite his youth, Liam was exceptional. What surprised Thomas most, though, was the gleam in Liam's eyes when he saw the gold. It was almost unnatural. Back in the city, Liam was thrilled by the bribe. His deputy commented that Liam had finally reached the level where bribes were coming to him naturally. When asked why he loved gold so much, Liam said it symbolized the nouveau riche. He instructed Amagi to process the gold and even tossed it to her. His deputy wondered if the gold was currency. Liam explained it was Koban type and would soon come in the form of Koban or Oban. He then requested Amagi to make him a golden bathtub. The deputy assumed it was for health reasons, but Liam had something else in mind. Taking his seat, Liam declared this the beginning of his path to true villainy. The only thing missing now was women. He would gather beauties from his domain and build a harem. He had a large number of women assembled, and his deputy nervously asked what the purpose of this room was. Liam responded that it was a space where he would fulfill his dream. He had even asked the maid robots to remodel it for this purpose. He then asked if the deputy knew the word Shachanikuran. When the deputy said no, Liam explained it meant a feast of extreme indulgence, alcohol flowing like a pool, and meat as abundant as a forest. He would achieve that here and turn this place into a personal Shachanikuran with beautiful women lined up for his pleasure. Just then, Amagi interrupted. Liam expected her to complain about the cost, but instead, she reported that the pirate treasure had been secured, so this wouldn't be expensive after all. Still, she did express concern that if he filled a pool with alcohol, it might explode or catch fire. Liam was looking for a less concentrated type of alcohol. Amagi told him that if he planned to drink it, then such diluted alcohol was just filth for someone like him. Liam replied by confirming the installation of water purifiers. However, Amagi explained that a water purifier would remove the alcohol entirely, turning it into plain water, and asked if he intended to swim in it instead. Disgusted, Liam said he didn't want to drink something someone might swim in. At that point, Brian, the deputy, stepped in, warning Liam not to do anything unhealthy. He also asked if Liam was planning to hang meat along with the alcohol. Liam didn't see an issue with that, but Amagi asked whether he meant processed or raw meat, pointing out that processed meat would turn the room into a convenience store, while raw meat would make it look like a butcher shop. This left Liam feeling hopeless, as it wasn't what he wanted. Brian grew frustrated, thinking Liam wanted to eat spoiled meat and risk his health. Amagi added that raw meat would spread bacteria and lose its flavor. Brian suggested that if Liam wanted meat, it should be properly handled. Feeling more misunderstood than ever, Liam clarified that he hadn't given up on his dream of building a harem where women would serve him while he played with them. Amagi surprisingly supported the idea, which made Liam happy and excited to build a glorious harem. Brian praised him, noting that as the count and ruler of the city, it was expected for Liam to have a splendid harem. Although he felt Liam was still young, he recalled past incidents where Neos had seduced Liam into buying warships. In his view, Liam needed a woman to care for him and possibly bear him an heir. Liam, however, thought Brian was rushing things. Brian argued that if Liam were to die, the family line would end, so he needed an heir urgently, something that clearly excited Brian more than Liam. Liam asked him to calm down. Amagi confirmed there were no issues with starting the harem and told Liam she would carefully select women from the city. Brian then asked what Liam planned to do after finishing the harem. Thinking to himself, Liam figured 10 women would be enough, but to make his people suffer more, he considered raising the number to 100, which shocked Brian. Liam insisted, not wanting to compromise. Amagi then prepared a list of the best women, estimating that 1,000 women would flock to the palace. Liam felt that was way too many and ignored the count, as all that mattered was finding one woman who truly intrigued him. Brian explained the large number was just a result of Liam having never let any women close to him. Liam said he had Amagi but she reminded him she couldn't bear children. Still, Liam admired Emoji as the ideal woman who embodied all his ideals. However, Brian would have preferred if Liam had kept any of the women he'd previously showed interest in. Liam believed in quality over quantity, but Brian was frustrated that he hadn't even started building a harem yet. He urged Liam to meet the candidates. Emoji handed Liam a device to help him narrow down his options, assuring him that once he chose, she would summon the women. However, Brian believed that as the governor, any girl would come running if Liam simply called. But Liam rejected this, wanting a girl who didn't desire to be with him, someone who wouldn't fall for him easily. He recalled Nida's warning from the Daijinshi about wicked women and remembered the betrayal he faced in his past life. This time, he wouldn't accept someone who was after him. He had never chosen a woman who wasn't beautiful or who didn't resist him. He asked Brian if he wanted a harem, but made it clear that Liam only wanted one that truly satisfied him. After staying locked in his palace for too long, Liam finally stepped outside and began searching for girls in the city. He approached the first girl and invited her for a drink, to which she agreed, but she had a balloon coming out of her nose. Liam was shocked. Looking around, he saw many girls wearing the same thing and asked about it. She explained it was a nose balloon, a new fashion trend. Liam returned to the palace wearing one too. Emoji, being fashion savvy, already knew about it. Brian told him it was just a silly accessory that couldn't be worn inside the palace. Still, the women found it cute. Liam complained that women often label anything harmless as cute and questioned what was appealing about it. He thought it made people look foolish, but Emoji liked it and asked to borrow his to wear for him. Angry, Liam refused, immediately broke the balloon, and told her to ban them in the city. He said such trends ruined the allure of women, even if they looked pretty. He couldn't understand what had happened to fashion in his city. Liam was astonished when he walked around the city expecting to see beautiful girls, but instead saw balloon-nosed girls in very tight beachwear, which angered him. He no longer approved of that fashion and didn't know how to speak to the girls. The deputy asked if he was still angry about the alcohol and meat room. Liam said yes, but that wasn't related to this. He said women shouldn't wear such clothes and the city needed fashion development. Emoji thought fashion had evolved, but Liam disliked the style. He told her to bring in top designers and models to influence others. Emoji said it would cost nearly the city's annual budget, which surprised Liam. He abandoned that idea and decided instead to bring beautiful girls to the palace and change their outfits himself. Emoji said the palace already had the best-looking women and men. She asked if she should summon someone for him, but Liam refused due to his mood. He asked if it was okay to pursue the female staff, and Emoji said yes. Liam was surprised it wasn't illegal. The deputy said the women would be delighted. Liam regretted not planning this earlier and acknowledged Emoji's support. The deputy encouraged him to do it to continue the family line, but Liam wasn't interested in women who were already eager. Emoji misunderstood and thought Liam wanted to pursue men, which annoyed him. He clarified he wanted to act like a villain and waste money, but didn't feel like forcing beautiful women to serve him. Tia woke up and was surprised her hands were healed. The doctor told her she had returned to normal due to a miracle elixir. Tia cried, thinking it was a dream. She had suffered a lot because of her previous appearance. The doctor said she owed nothing. Liam paid for it. Liam built the facility and gathered doctors. Others were also receiving treatment. Tia was excited and wanted to move again. The doctor passed on Liam's message that she should repay the favor. Tia recalled hearing that before and cried, promising to repay it. At the palace, Liam was choosing among girls, like browsing for a date. At his tavern, a regular customer ordered as usual and treated the staff. The waitress was surprised by his generosity. The customer said he became a manager and needed staff. The waitress said there was a staff shortage. The customer asked if Liam found a pirate treasure and was using it to develop the city, which made others happy. The old man wanted to rest, but the waitress reminded him this was his break. The guide overheard, angry that the land, meant to be poor and in debt, was developing. He wondered if his plan had failed. In one of Liam's fleets, the captain and deputy praised Liam as a brave prince. The guide expected betrayal, but they pledged loyalty instead, which confused him. Yashishi relaxed with his reward, but panicked seeing Liam being honored for the flash technique, which Yashishi had taught him. Yashishi feared the empire and thought of fleeing. The guide grew angry again. In Guas's fleet, Guas asked how many ships remained. The deputy said 30,000 were left and 2,000 were lost as bait. Guas didn't care, they were prisoners anyway. He asked how they ended up in the Imperial Fleet's training zone. The deputy said they were supposed to exit through Domus Gate, but Dallas might have changed the settings. Guas vowed revenge. The guide appeared to Guas and told him to direct his anger correctly. He cast a spell making Guas target Liam. Guas planned to attack Banfield with his fleet. The guide told him to go and make Liam suffer. Liam had a meal served by his servants. Amaji asked about the food, but Liam didn't care for it. He felt guilty wasting it and didn't want to chat during meals. Amaji offered to bring women, but Liam declined, saying he already had one Amaji. Amaji reminded him she was artificial intelligence and couldn't bear heirs. Liam insisted she was with him. Amaji said she didn't understand if that was right or wrong, but wanted Liam to be happy. Liam didn't want more women. Amaji asked if robots counted as women, but Liam asked her not to compare it to bananas being snacks. Amaji said Brian would regret not bringing real women, but Liam said Brian didn't understand a man's dreams. Women who welcomed him wouldn't stir his desire. Amaji saw things were becoming complicated. Liam returned to his room planning to raise taxes and act like an evil prince. But being in debt reminded him of his past life. Amaji asked what he wanted to accomplish. Liam wanted to raise taxes and make people suffer. Amaji said it would increase short-term income, but cause long-term loss, and they should check Banfield State first. Liam didn't want such mature ideas. Liam wants to abuse his power and become a tyrant. Amaji reminds him that, if he does, it will negatively affect their debt repayment. Liam then recalls how he suffered from debt collectors in his previous life. Amaji asks if he's unhappy with this life and promises to do everything she can to solve their problems. However, Liam's land management is going well. Despite the large debt, he's making progress. Even his poor parents left on their own, he mastered a flash technique, and he acquired pirate treasure. Money and power are steadily flowing to him. Most importantly, Amaji is by his side, which is the greatest reason he's satisfied with life. That's why he wants to use this perfect opportunity to pursue his ambitions, embrace his power as an evil prince, and celebrate his good fortune. Amaji, however, struggles to understand these masculine matters, clarifying for the third time that she's artificial intelligence, and finds male concepts difficult but promises to assist him. Next, in Liam's cleaning room, the robots continue their work. One robot talks about finishing quickly because they have high-quality systems. A group of robots gathers and Shirini shares how she tried to copy Arshima's hairstyle to avoid being recognized by Liam, but was caught. Surprised because they look alike, Shirini reveals she protected a secret video of the incident. Arshima and Shiami object, saying they would do the same until Liam calls their names. Then Amaji appears, forbidding this. Shirini doesn't realize this might annoy Liam. Amaji warns she will confiscate the video for Liam and questions Shirini's intentions, telling them not to leave any data behind. As Amaji leaves, Shiami asks if it's appropriate for her to be close to Liam while she is artificial intelligence, but Amaji firmly rejects this, stating she follows Liam's commands. None of them fully understand Amaji's behavior. Later, in Liam's office, he informs Brian of bad news. The pirates have declared war, and a large fleet is gathering at the edge of the chaos system. Liam thinks it's fair they declare war instead of a surprise attack. Amaji believes they're trying to intimidate them for invading the pirate treasure island. If it's revenge, they won't stop at killing. They enjoy torturing families and disfiguring bodies. Liam realizes the pirate leader is cruel and powerful, so he declares war. Brian plans to meet officials and forces. At the meeting, Brian reveals the pirate leader is Guaz, who wants money, women, and handsome men to avoid attacks. Liam is angry and thinks Guaz is very evil. Brian is surprised Liam worries about Banfield. Officials suggest negotiating with pirates to avoid conflict, but Liam asks about the pirate fleet's size. 30,000 ships compared to their 5,000. The head of forces notes numbers aren't everything. Even if they surrender, pirates won't leave them alone. They're waiting for reinforcements from the Empire. Liam then notices something strange about Guaz's bounty. It's high but not enough to justify risking 30,000 ships. Amaji runs a combat simulation based on seized pirate ship data, predicting only a 3% chance of victory. Brian asks if a new weapon from the 7th Arms Factory, the Cyclone Destroyer, is ready. Liam is surprised. Brian confirms it is. Suddenly, time freezes. Liam recalls Nidida saying, time-stopping events happen 90% of the time, but this time, it actually stopped. The guide appears, requesting some of Liam's time, but Liam refuses due to pressing problems. The guide admits he led the pirates here and asks if the city of Banfield is burdened by debt. Liam confirms this, explaining debt limits his freedom, which disappoints him. The guide reveals he summoned the pirates with a great treasure. If Liam defeats them, he will claim it all. Liam has already taken some pirate treasure, but defeating Guaz would bring greater wealth and honor. The guide arranged everything but disguised himself at first to gain fame, starting from the bottom. Liam feels excited by this plan, and the guide hopes Liam will accept it before disappearing. Liam thanks him. Back to Brian, who continues talking. Liam feels mocked, but learns Brian refers to the new destroyer weapon. Liam asks him to stop mentioning it so much to avoid confusion. Liam decides to destroy Guaz's pirates. The chief official objects, noting they only have mercenaries and no knights in Banfield. Angry, Liam insists this is necessary. He orders preparation of ships and gathering of forces. Then, the guide appeared before Liam, asking for some of his time. However, Liam refused, as he was facing a major issue he wanted to resolve. The guide admitted that he was the one who brought the pirates to the area, and asked whether the city of Byfield was burdened with debt. Liam confirmed that the debt was holding him back from achieving his goals, which disappointed him. To help, the guide summoned pirates carrying a great treasure, and proposed that if Liam defeated them, everything would be his. Liam had already taken some pirate treasure, but it was only a small portion. If he could defeat their leader, Guaz, he'd gain a far greater reward and honor. The guide had arranged it all, not appearing as a noble because starting from the bottom and rising through the ranks would bring Liam more glory. Liam was thrilled by the opportunity and thanked the guide, who told him this was just the beginning before vanishing. Afterward, Brian continued speaking, and Liam suspected he was mocking him. But Brian clarified he was referring to the new destroyer weapon. Liam asked him not to repeat the name so often, as it was confusing. Then, Liam declared his intent to destroy Guaz's pirates. Although the chief official objected, citing their lack of knights and the presence of enemy mercenaries, Liam insisted, angrily, asserting that this was final. He ordered preparations for battle. Meanwhile, the guide was at a restaurant gathering negative emotions. A popular baked goods exhibit was causing quite a stir. A girl, eagerly waiting her turn, was crushed when her favorite item sold out. This gave the guide joy until more batches arrived, delighting the girl and disappointing him. Still, he comforted himself, saying the real main dish was yet to come. Back with Liam, Brian lamented that they were now forced to fight pirates after all their progress. But Amagi reassured him they hadn't lost yet, and Liam's judgment wasn't wrong. Their chances of success were 3.8%, while surrender guaranteed defeat. Betting on 3.8% was better than 0%. Brian thought that had Liam been born a century earlier, he could have wiped the pirates out entirely. Liam's fleet advanced toward the pirates. Guaz, commanding a much larger force, mocked Liam and ordered his men to capture him alive, promising doubled rewards. He smashed a goblet and vowed to teach Liam what real war looked like. Back with Liam, soldiers admired his composure and leadership. He promised them this was just another step toward glory. But the waiting bored him until battle began. The soldiers explained that large-scale space battles weren't chaotic brawls, they were tactical. The enemy's numbers were vast, and many were former knights turned mercenaries. Soon, the enemy fleet divided, with 50 ships charging from above. This was a distraction tactic, sending expendable units first. Liam learned these weren't pirates but soldiers forced to join them to survive. Amagi warned against trusting traitors. Liam realized they were being used as disposable pawns. Then the real fleets clashed. Guaz learned that his forward units had been wiped out. He acknowledged Liam was more capable than expected and ordered a counterattack to crush the enemy. However, Liam had laid space mines among the pirate fleet. As they pushed forward, they took heavy damage. Back on Liam's ship, his forces reported the pirates were sacrificing their own to clear a path. A knight suggested using defensive ships to shield Liam's vessel, but Liam became furious. He wouldn't allow his people to be sacrificed like pawns. He declared everything, land, ships, soldiers, even their blood belonged to him, and no one had permission to die without his say. They would win without waiting for reinforcements. He ordered Efred to prepare for launch and appointed Amagi to command the fleet. Though some objected to an AI leading, Amagi reminded them her loyalty to Liam was unmatched. She took control and launched the offensive. Meanwhile, Liam and Efred launched from their ship. Amagi had released Efred, vowing to make the pirates regret crossing Liam. Upon arriving near the enemy fleet via a spatial jump, Liam evaded their attacks and began destroying enemy ships with support from his fleet. He charged forward with mobile knights, cutting down enemies one by one. When a pirate knight challenged him, Liam used the flash style and defeated him. Though mocked by others, Liam continued to unleash his technique, destroying more knights and ships. Eventually, his mech's arm was damaged. A large group of knights attacked again. Amagi reported their odds of victory had dropped to 1.2%. Despite being struck and losing his sword, Liam killed his attacker and vowed he didn't need anyone more evil than himself. When he was surrounded again, they were mysteriously destroyed and Tia arrived to help. Her guards joined the fray, and she began annihilating Gaz's forces to repay Liam for his past kindness. Tia eventually destroyed Guaz's ship, but Liam wasn't happy being overshadowed. He responded by unveiling a rocket punch combined with his power, then revealed a new sword and reactivated the flash style. Tia was impressed. With Guaz's fleet in ruins, the tide turned. Their victory chances jumped to 83%. Amagi ordered her soldiers to isolate enemies and finish off the pirates. Liam swapped the rocket punch for his sword and prepared to press the attack. Tia reappeared on the battlefield to support Liam. Her assistant informed her that all her guards had gathered to fight alongside her. Together, they attacked Gaz's fleet, destroying many knights. Tia was determined to repay Liam for his kindness. We then returned to Tia, who was pleased to have eliminated the pirates. She personally attacked Gaz's ship and blew it up, continuing the destruction. However, Liam wasn't happy that someone else was outshining him. To reassert himself, he showcased a powerful rocket punch and merged it with his energy. He then revealed a new sword and used his flash technique, impressing Tia further. This resulted in the destruction of many of Gaz's warships, raising their chances of victory to 83%. Amagi ordered soldiers to isolate units not under Liam's command and eliminate the remaining pirates. Liam's fleet then launched massive attacks, leading to heavy pirate losses. Switching weapons, Liam put aside the rocket punch and drew his sword again, vowing to finish the pirates off. Tia, still amazed by Liam's strength, nearly got hit by a rival's attack, but managed to evade and eliminate many enemy knights. She felt intense joy and kept fighting. Liam, now commanding his personal army, swore to crush all enemies, viewing them as worthless scum, like the debt collectors from his previous life. He felt overwhelming satisfaction from the fight. We cut to Amagi, who noticed a group of elite pirate knights approaching. She quickly alerted Liam, who thanked her and vowed to crush them. As missiles launched at him, he deflected them with a barrier. Meanwhile, his ship's knights were frightened. One commander admitted that although he was also scared, he wondered what Liam's life might have been like had he not been born a noble. Despite being forced into a leadership role, Liam had succeeded, fought for his people, and became the first true noble worth following. Liam attacked the pirate knights with his sword and a unique gun, taking out many enemies. He then spotted a potential enemy base on the map, suspecting the pirate leader was hiding there. Launching missiles at the location, he was surprised when they were intercepted. He attempted short-range teleportation to bypass the enemy barriers, but couldn't, likely due to interference. Amagi then ordered all ships to advance and breach the barriers. Liam's fleet moved in. His knights coordinated an all-ship bombardment, destroying the barriers and damaging several pirate ships. A large opening was created, which delighted Liam. Back on Gaz's side, his assistant informed him of the breach. He ordered them to fix it immediately, while pirate knights counterattacked Liam's forces. Despite their efforts, the barrier was breached again. Gaz was horrified to see Aviat and learned from his assistant that Liam's forces were charging. With most of his guards eliminated and the battle turning against them, Gaz began to lose hope. He admitted defeat internally and ordered his assistant to inform command they would abandon the battlefield. He instructed his men to fire at Liam's mobile knight, even if it meant friendly fire. However, Liam remained unharmed. Foyos advised the remaining pirate ships to flee, but retreat paths were blocked. Gaz, abandoning his allies, tried to escape. Just then, Liam appeared above Gaz's ship, firing at its engines and destroying it. Though Gaz attempted to flee again, he couldn't avoid Liam's attacks. Liam mocked him, asking if he'd ever seen power like this before. A fleeing ship was also destroyed by Liam, who claimed all their treasures as his own. As the knights followed him, Liam set off in search of more treasure. His deputy warned him that Gaz might self-destruct, but Liam dismissed the idea. He launched a barrage of rocket punches, penetrating the ship and killing its guards from the inside. After boarding the enemy vessel, Liam's vice warned him again but Liam sensed an enemy presence and moved ahead. When a pirate fired at them, Liam's forces retaliated. Behind a sealed door, more pirates appeared, but Liam refused protection. As pirates advanced with swords, Liam walked calmly past them. They couldn't touch him. Then, with a hidden strike, he killed many enemies, leaving his guards astonished. Only Gaz's assistant remained, terrified. He pleaded for his life, offering to reveal the treasure's location and serve Liam, claiming experience in fleet management. But Liam didn't trust him, and with another hidden strike, cut off his head. Elsewhere, the guide was infuriated by Liam's overwhelming power. He cursed Yoshiyuki's teachings and resolved to use any means to stop Liam, even if it wasn't his style. He appeared before Guaz, telling him he would grant him power for revenge. Guaz, now possessed by this power, transformed into a monstrous being. Meanwhile, Liam's forces were still clearing pirates from the ship. Liam noticed the mysterious white dog again, but found no signs of life. He remarked that the dog was one of his few faithful friends and didn't want to see it corrupted. They soon discovered a treasure vault, and though the deputy was impressed, Liam dismissed the items as junk, cheap imitations of his father's collection. However, he found a katana that greatly impressed him. He decided to keep it, saying weapons had meaning beyond their use. Just then, an emergency arose. Guaz, now a monstrous version of himself, had returned and killed several soldiers. Though hit by heavy weapons, he remained unaffected. He demanded Liam face him directly. Liam arrived and attacked, but his sword broke. However, with the new katana, he severed Guaz's hands and admired its strength. As Guaz attacked again, Liam cut off more of his body. Guaz was stunned by Liam's power and begged for forgiveness, offering his treasure. But Liam refused, declaring he would kill him and claim everything. Guaz pleaded desperately, claiming his treasure was more valuable than the bounty. Liam considered informing the Empire's investigator to extract the treasure. Guaz, enraged, tried to fight again, but Liam cut off his remaining leg, leaving him begging. The deputy asked if Liam planned to keep him alive, but pointed out the bounty was the same either way. Realizing that, Liam delivered a final blow to end Guaz. Afterward, he returned to his ship. Amagi welcomed him, and Liam, smiling, simply said he was back.